Yo, what's up? I see 3 people in here. I do not see comments. How can I do that? Maybe my camera's the wrong way. Oop, sweet mother. Nope. No, it doesn't like that. How can I see the comments? Chat. Filter. All messages. Okay. Is that something? Nope. Forgive me, everybody. Don't know what we're doing here. So we'll go vertical for right now until I can figure it out. Irons forward. What's up, dude? Green screen, no. Adam, hello, sir. How are you? Max, sir, Clayton. What's up? No, that's not what I want. Let's see. I may end up filming this vertically. It yells at me when I do that, and I don't know how to make it not. So we'll just F it. We'll do it live, as a wise man once said. Joseph, sir, what's going on? All right, so Marcus, hello, sir. You finally get the video you've been asking for. So today, talking about some chem stuff. So with all the stuff going on in California and it's starting to spread, we're seeing it now in Atlanta, I believe New York, some other places. Scott, hello. Got to have our phones vertical to see the chat. Okay, there we go. I figured probably now's the time, and I was going to drop a video on this on Tuesday anyway, but Saturday is supposed to be the big day, right? According to the internets. Elcar, hello, sir. Hot summer coming in fast. Sweet mother. Some issues in Minneapolis. Interesting. I'm talking to a guy there. He might jump in the old chat. One of my childhood friends is in that area. So, in Minneapolis. So, anyway, everything's going on. Figured I'd make this live to ask questions and talk about some gas masks and chems and just kind of riot things in general. So, I've got 30 people in here now, but I've only been live for 3 minutes. So I guess I'll talk about, I don't know what I'll talk about, something that's, whatever. We're just gonna go. So as far as me, I used to work for a police department. I was on the riot squad. Stop staring into souls, never. I was on the riot squad for 5 years. Okay, so the majority of my career, short career, it was mobile tactics, and then that got disbanded in favor of a much more modern form of riot control called CDRT, Civil Disturbance Response Team. So a large-ish city on the East Coast, and we train this stuff constantly all the time, and got to do it a little bit in the Summer of Love, right, in 2020. So I'm sure, like, especially West Coast dudes or Denver, like the places that have the professional full-time rioters, like, they're going to be way more experienced than I am. SWAT guys who regularly are using chems. I was never SWAT. So they are going to have a little bit maybe different perspective, but hopefully I'm not the most experienced guy in the world, but I might be the most experienced guy making a YouTube video that you see. So that's kind of my background and everything. And yeah, so we'll get it going. A passphrase to be to be let through the shield line. Yeah. Yeah, I got nothing for you. Don't be in front of the shield line. So we'll talk about gas masks first. So what is a gas mask? You're going to have a seal. It's going to have a filter, right? So that whatever nasty stuff is in the air, that you're able to not breathe it in and become incapacitated. So basically, they're going to be, if there's a riot, which like we're seeing, they're going to be using all sorts of chems. CN is an older one that's not really used anymore, at least, it kind of shouldn't be. But, who knows, if they start running out, they may just shoot everything that they have. CS, which is tear gas, okay, and that is primarily respiratory, causes respiratory distress, although some like eye stuff, right? Will, what's up, dude? Glad you can make it. So that's CS, is tear gas, right? It's like a white colored smoke is what it looks like. And then you have OC, pepper spray, right? And that comes in several different forms. Ah, shoot. All right, maybe I'll run up and get it just for demo purposes. But you've got the spray can, and then you have some sort of a grenade, whether it is a hand canister, like this type of deal, right? Like this is an airsoft smoke, but a hand canister, or a launchable, right? Like a 37 millimeter or 40 millimeter launch canister, or those are the two primary, and then you're gonna have pepper balls too, which is a powder form of pepper spray of OC. So anyway, so all that stuff is going to be being used. It's definitely going to be being used by the cops, like a whole lot, and it's very common for it to be used by the other side, right? By the rioters, who will throw stuff back, or they'll have their own stuff, right? Like pepper spray is easy to get. That's the easiest one. They probably, are they going to have gas? I don't know. But we've seen videos of them putting some sort of aerosolized substance into like beer bottles. So there's definitely some improvised stuff going on there, whether it's IEDs or improvised chems or something like that. I don't know what they're making. There's somebody out there, some analyst type that probably knows better than me. But either way, it's going to be going back and forth. It's bad news. Both sides have it. And yeah, so pepper spray, primarily eyes, right? So it will blind you, and then it secondarily causes some respiratory distress, can make it hard to breathe. So that's CS and OC. Hairspray in the Modelo. Yeah. So I don't know what that's for, but I don't want them to throw it at me. So primarily, I think with the people that are chiming into this audience, there may be some pros in here, and hopefully you guys are getting good training. If not, like, I don't know, let me know, I guess. Like, I'm not the expert, but maybe I'm the most experty person that you can get a hold of. So the people we're talking about primarily, I think, are going to be people wanting to utilize this stuff to get out of a bad situation. So I'll talk about some stuff real quick. So as far as the gas mask goes, if you have ever worn one or something similar, you know that like this isn't something I want to wear a lot of. Pool cleaning season. 5-gallon buckets. I don't know what that means, Adam. We want to be getting away, right? So if the highway's shut down, we can't drive our car anymore, car down, we gotta bug out of this thing, right? Maybe we're grabbing our bug out bag, maybe we're so close we're like, not even worth it, we're just gonna bounce. But some of this stuff is happening, so we need a gas mask. So if we get caught in it, we're not going to be essentially at the whim of whoever grabs us, right? Whether it's law enforcement or anti-law enforcement people. So that's what we're talking about. I'm going to talk about from an overt setup, because that is my experience. When we start talking about some covert stuff, I don't know. I haven't done that, right? I've done a lot of covert stuff, not where I have to have a gas mask. So I don't know, like, figure out something that works for you, but hopefully you can take the principles that I talk about here and apply it to your situation. But basically, this is something that's very, very difficult to breathe in. If you're like, you gotta have good cardio to do anything physical in this thing. It limits your field of view. It's just bad, right? So basically, if the air is safe to breathe, we don't want to have this thing on. However, what that means is that we're relatively vulnerable in that environment, so it has to be immediately accessible. So that's kind of what I'm talking about in this case. So I'll show my gun belt real quick, and then how the gas mask integrates into it. So here's the gun belt. I've got a pistol, I've got some magazines and a magazine, and I've got a little hooky clip right here, right? Like you see a lot of people have keys. And I have a smoke back here, but you know, maybe that's a OC can in this case, right? So anyhow, and a lot of people put keys on here, that's fine. A lot of people put gloves on here, which I do store gloves here. I don't carry gloves here because these tabs will rip off. But that's a nice thing, but that's not what that's for, okay? This is for my gas mask. So this typical gas mask pouches are going to be on a drop leg, okay? So there it is. There's the pouch, big and bulky and awesome to carry. And that is what snaps onto this clip. So, and I've got a single leg strap. This rides pretty high. I have tried double leg straps. I hate them. I do not find that they work very well at all. So this clips on and leg straps around, and I have my gas mask on me. It's a little bit on the front of my thigh, which I kind of like, but you know, if all I have to do is adjust that leg strap just a little bit, and it's more in the traditional to the side spot. In the front, it's going to be a lot better for being in vehicles, right? Which my background, that's what we're doing. And then probably in this background too, we're not out there just wandering around the Riot with our gas mask. That would be weird. But maybe we're in a vehicle, we're trying to get A to B, and we get stuck, right? We were like looking at where the Riot was going to be. We got surprised. So I kind of like having it toward the front, where I can have it like a little bit on the front of my thigh, and then just swap it over a little bit to the outside. So this one is a Tough Products gas mask bag. I had an issued, I believe it was Blackhawk, old school one that really sucked. So I bought this one. I like it a lot. Specifically, the quick connect is great. This clip lives on my gun belt. It just is there permanently, and then clip this on when I need to. So it's also very slim. It's not in the way. It's not like a big 2-inch piece of webbing that's taking up real estate that I could have, you know, pouches on. So I'll go ahead and get into it. This one is double buckle Fastex only. There's no Velcro. I do wish that it had Velcro for, like, if I have to stow this and go real quick and I don't have time to get the buckle snapped, I have like a redundancy. So if your pouch had Velcro and buckle, I think that would be best. Yeah, so here's a mask, bam. I believe this is MSA, I don't know, 2000 or something. So this is kind of nice. It's got this big wide face shield. Sew that shit on, yes, I may do that. So it's got this big wide face shield, which is really good for visibility compared to some other masks. Obviously, like most professional masks, I can put the filter on either side depending on if I shoot my rifle off my right shoulder or my left shoulder, right? Or, you know, in this case, it may be something else. It may be a pepper ball gun, or it may be a gas gun, right? Grenade launcher. So, great mask. Wish I could find a replacement lens. Yes. So, remind me of that, sir. Electric Soldier. So, anyhow, there we go. I have a filter attached. Then I've got two. This goes in the pouch upside down. So picture you grabbing this and being able to put it on your face, right? So that's how it rides in the pouch. I'll get to stowing it in just a second. Side over front mount filter. Yes. I've never used a front mount filter. I've never seen one. I'm not aware of any professionals that use that. So, Lewis, I'm going to say yes. Again, I'm not the, you know, the be-all, end-all expert on this thing. So, I've got two side pouches on this gas mask bag, which is really nice. In this one, I have a extender for a chin strap, right? So that's something people don't think about, like for a helmet, which of course I no longer have the helmet this goes to, but whatever. I have a pair of fast fit mechanics, right? So this kind of is like a match set, right? So I might want to like glove up if I'm doing this sort of thing. I have a disposable razor, okay? So if I am not getting a seal because of facial hair, taking care of that is going to be important. And I also have some nuke pills. I don't know how realistic this is. I don't know how good they were. I don't really know anything. Somebody told me to get them, no names, but either way, I have them in here figuring if there's some sort of a nuclear thing, definitely grabbing the gas mask bag, so I may as well have this in here. It's not really a Riot thing, obviously. But in my other one, I have a sealed filter. And this is a super slim guy. It's really slim and light, super dope. So I've got, this is like the one I would prefer to wear. And I have it sealed so that like it's still good when I want to put it on. It's also much smaller, so it's not going to last as long as the big guy. So, yeah. Anyway, that's kind of the rule of thumb on filters is have two. So, like you're going to have a spare, I heard somebody say yesterday, like you're going to have a spare radio battery. You want a spare, what do you call it? Filter. So, some other things about the gas mask. It's got a drinking tube. So this only helps you if you have NBC caps on canteens or Nalgene bottles. Okay, so you can't take this off to drink if there's CS in the air, and you're gonna need a drink, especially if you're like running around in this thing. So probably a good idea. Maybe even like throwing an Nalgene with an NBC cap in one of these side filters, inside the side pouches. I don't know. You know, your imagination runs wild. So, let me see. Iodine pills, yeah. Sealed filters come with stated shelf life when stored open on the mask. Is there any standard of shelf life on the filter, assuming it remains unused? So, I'll talk about that, Marcus, because I know you and I have gone back and forth on this a lot. I don't know. Again, you know, I'm not the be-all, end-all expert. However, when we were trained, we were instructed by SWAT that we were issued two filters. We were told to open one, put it on, and this is our training filter, and keep the other one sealed. And if there's a riot, we can break that one out and put it on. However, they said, like, honestly, these last basically forever. So, typically we're not in these environments exposed to these contaminants all the time. right? So the filter's not getting clogged with that. I'll hold it up a little bit more. The filter's not getting clogged with all of those particulates, right? So if it's just sitting here, A, not getting breathed through, right? I'm not sucking air through this thing. And then B, there's no particulates in the air that it's catching. It's just clean air going through it. Theoretically, it's not going to wear out. Of course, the company's going to say it's only good for, 6.9 minutes, and then you need a new one. They have liability to worry about, and they want to sell these things. Also, for professional filters, they have an NSN, right, to sell to the government. And in order to get an NSN, there must be an expiration date, right? Like, there's an expiration date on everything, right? So just because it says it expired does not mean it expired, right? Body armor is a great example, right? Like, there's 420 videos on YouTube of dudes shooting expired body armor. It stops them all the time. So, assuming it's cared for properly. So I will say, put a filter on your mask. That way, like, basically, if you need the mask, it's too late to be screwing filters into this thing. Okay? So put a filter on the mask, have another one that is sealed. Okay? That way, if for some reason there is a problem with this one, take a deep breath, unscrew this filter, screw on the other one, go from there. Purge the mask, go from there. So talk about that in just a second. Let's see. What have I missed? All right, so again, back to this same point, how long do these filters last? The SWAT guys were instructors, right, for chem. So they're running people through the gas house constantly. New recruits, but also people that are having to recertify, and we annually test fit check, right? So we make sure our masks are good to go, which means we put them on and walk into a gas house with a bunch of CS and make sure that we can still breathe. Because if we can't, then we know, hey, I need a new mask. So, or, a new filter, whatever it is. This is my mask. This is a filter from the Academy. It's been in actual riots. It's been in, 1,000 training events. It's been in the gas house annually, all that time. Still working, right? So hopefully that gives you an idea on that. So this is a MSA CBRN filter. Yeah, I've got some other ones, but I'm not going to unscrew this one right now, but that's what that is. So, boom. Let's see. A half-face respirator, a good set of chem goggles. Is that sufficient, or should you invest in full face? I avoid the city. Joseph, it's a lot better than nothing. I've been exposed to real gas, like in training and in the gas house and in real life. I mean, the gas house, I cannot, like in an enclosed environment with like a ton of gas, I would want a real gas mask. Out in the street where like it kind of dissipates, there's wind and stuff going on. We see a lot of the opposition, right? A lot of rioters with that kind of setup, with some goggles and a respirator, and seems like they are able to function. So I will say, rock what you got for now. But if this is, if you think it's a real concern, then I would look into getting a real mask. Not against harsher, like radiological or nuclear. Probably, I don't know anything about that. I've never been nuked. Praise God. So open on one, the mask in the bag. Marcus, how many McGolds have you had, bro? New filter and packaging stored with it. Yeah. Open the new filter. Yeah, sure. If you want, you can open the new filter and put it on for go time. Yeah, if that gives you the warm fuzzies. Obviously, personally, that's not what I do. I'm pretty confident in this. Yeah, I think it's very likely you'll be fine with the open one, assuming you get some sort of a quality, professionally level filter. Mira has a sale right now for 4 hours. They're gonna make a lot of money probably. All right, so what else should we talk about here? All right, so I'll talk about storing the mask. So I already talked about it goes in the pouch upside down, right? So it goes in the pouch this way because when you grab it to put it on your face, you want it in the correct orientation, right? So for storage, you want it like this. All these straps loose and just in the back here. However, this is not how you're going to operate with the mask, okay? So the reason you store it like this is we don't want to wear out this rubber, right? This rubber is very important that we get a good seal. So we're going to store it like this. These should all be adjusted. So these top straps and the ones on the side, like by the temples, those should all be adjusted, and these bottom ones should be loose, like all the way loose, right? So here's how we're gonna stage our mask. So we're gonna store it like this, right? In the pouch, like just chilling. Now, if something happens where we're like, oh, I think I might need this mask, right? Like maybe I'm gonna put it on my body, like so, in my pouch, my drop leg, or maybe I'm gonna put it in the vehicle, like I think there's a greater than 1% chance I need to put this on today. We're gonna stage this mask. So all these straps in here are gonna go over the front of the mask, like inside out, right? So I'll show you once I have it. All right. So little like Bane or some sort of looking deal, right? So I have all that inside out. So the face part is ready for my face. So this is how it's staged in the pouch when I'm ready to deploy it. The reason there is this is a time sensitive deal, right? There's some poisonous stuff in the air I don't need breathing in. So I want to be able to grab this mask, put it to my face, and immediately seal even before I get straps pulled, right? I can seal this just with my hand, right? So I'll go ahead and demo that. I'll try and yell with the mask on. You're probably not gonna be able to hear me. We'll see what we can do, right? So you're gonna take the mask out, put it to your face. You're gonna get your seal. You're gonna pull that back over your head and tighten your straps in the back. So that's how we're gonna go ahead and put that on, right? So I'll go ahead and take that mask back off. So in go time, when we take it off, we're taking it off and staging it immediately, right? So just like that. Whoo, my face still feels like gas, baby. Yeah. All right, so I'll put this back in here, and because we're gonna talk about that here. I'll talk about it now. All right, so this is, thank you if you thought the staging was good. This is even more important, okay? So I'm gonna try and demo this. It's gonna be hard because you're not gonna be able to hear me very good with the mask on. But when I put this mask on, I wanna press it to my face, and if I think there's a 1% chance that I have gas in here, I wanna purge the mask. So I'm blowing out. So I'm gonna press in on this little rubbery deal here. This is like where the the drinking cap is, right, there's a one-way valve under there. Yeah, see, there's a drinking cap, the straw. And I'm gonna hold my hand over the filter, and what that's gonna do is any air in the mask, it's gonna blow it out the mask, and then the mask is gonna seal back to my face. So I'll demonstrate that again. I'm gonna get my seal. Forgot to breathe in. Breathe in. So hopefully you could hear that blowing the air out. So if there's any gas in there, I blow it out of the mask before I start breathing, okay? Secondly, I wanna make sure I have a good seal. So what I'm gonna do is pop my hand against this hole in the filter, right? The intake hole. And then I'm gonna suck air in. And that is going to, like when you suck into a water bottle and the sides like collapse, that's what's gonna happen is the mask is gonna suck up onto my face, and I'm gonna make sure I have a good seal. So I'll do that now, I'll purge, and then I'll seal it, right?
So you can hear I'm breathing through it right now, right before I even do my straps.
So what's up, Cody? I'll go ahead and show this at the end because it's so important. This is like how you use a gas mask, right? So I'm gonna take a deep breath in. Another reason I'm gonna take a deep breath in is this may be the last breath I get, right? Like, so if I need the mask, I wanna make sure I have a good full set of lungs, right? So maybe it takes me 20 seconds, cool, man. Maybe it takes me 20 seconds to purge my mask and get everything going. Maybe I struggle getting it out of the pouch, right? Like, if I see a gas can somewhere near me and I see the smoke coming out, like, go ahead and suck air in because that's gonna be the last good breath you get for a while, right? So deep breath.
Seal. Purge. And then I'm gonna suck in while holding my hand against here. Then I'm gonna go ahead and strap, and I'm gonna, while holding it to my face, that's when I'm gonna pull my side straps tight.
Okay? So that's important, like, hold on to that seal until these are holding on to it for you. So make sure you're pressing that up against your face, keeping that good seal that you fought so hard to get while you tighten those straps. Not that you would go right, left, but you get the picture. So, all right. So I talked about masks. Go ahead and take our stage mask, put it back in the pouch, and talk about helmets real quick. So just like I talked about gloves and how this is kind of a match set, that gloves go with masks, same with helmets, right? So honestly, I was thinking about it, and I can't imagine a scenario where I'm gonna want a mask and not want to have a helmet. So this is something to consider, right? So I already talked about the helmet extender. So that's gonna be something to consider. One thing I did on when I didn't have one, on my issued helmet, is the way I had my suspension set up, there was only 2 buckles that needed to be lengthened for the chin strap to run under my chin under the gas mask, right? So consider fit with the mask, but basically if there's chems being thrown around, there's definitely like bricks and rocks and stuff being thrown around. So like protecting your noggin is a good deal. It's pretty important. And I'm gonna say there's a good reason for a bump helmet. You know, if you don't have money for a ballistic, like get a bump, and that can be a legitimate thing, right? So you'll probably notice this is a borrowed helmet, right? So but I will go over how we're gonna go ahead and deal with this. So the helmet is gonna prevent us getting our mask on, right? So let me go ahead. Okay, we can actually kind of see. So here's the deal. We're walking around, we have our helmet on, and we would call it emergency gas, right? So these are some commands. Is we're gonna say gas, 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 right? As loud as we can, so all our people can hear us. Gas, gas, gas. We're gonna drop down to a knee. We're gonna take our. Ideally, we want to have this helmet off our head for as little time as possible, so we don't get hit with a cinder block, right? So ideally, we can prep our gas bag, and typically, I want the drop leg side, whatever that side is, I want it to be down. So it's easier to draw this pouch up and out versus if that leg is up, like toward me and in. So think about that. We talk about like taking the knee on the right side of the cover, the correct side of the cover, sorry. Typically I want this leg to be down, okay? So I want to be able to have that prepped. So I can even have my left hand, I can have it in my left hand when I take this helmet off. When I take this helmet off, I don't want to be all willy-nilly about it. I'm going to need this thing, right? And I also don't want to damage it. So I want to set this down gently, like open side down, right? So this side down, I want to set it down gently. I want to get my mask.
And we're going to put our helmet back on, right? So right here is where it would be a good idea to have an extender. So this is also important for sizing. So you're going to want to make sure it's sized where it's not hitting the top of your mask. So, and then vice versa, when I take it off, same deal.
So I want to get that back on my head as soon as I can. And probably getting it buckled is a really good idea. You're gonna have to pick like which thing do I buckle first, the helmet or the gas mask bag, because I don't want to lose the gas mask, but I definitely don't want to lose my helmet, especially if I got to jump up and run. So that's another reason why I like the Velcro on the gas mask bag. Is it's an additional retention method where if I can at least get that Velcro, now I get my chin strap buckled, then if I have time, I can go back down and hit my my Fastex buckles on there. So yeah, this in my opinion is kind of a match set. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense for them to work without each other. So yeah, I don't know. Don't get hit in the head. That would be bad, especially for somebody like me where I only have so many brain cells to spare. So, yep, helmet off for as little time as possible. You want to put it down this way. You don't want it to roll away. You don't want it to get damaged. Yep, get that mask on, purge, seal, helmet back on as quick as you can. Yeah, so I'll talk about some other stuff. So if you want to know like the best possible mask to get, in my opinion, the Avon C50. So that's what I used to have. They are legit. These filters. This is another reason why I would recommend opening one and having one sealed is like they're not the easiest things to open. So, yep, have it sealed, but they're legit. So yeah, I would tell you to get one of those, but these MSA ones are good. The field of view is really, really nice on them. So that's cool. I'll talk about that real quick again. Somebody said something about it. Let's see if I have any more questions. No, I do not. So these eye shields. So all this is a protective cover on the mask. The mask itself is soft underneath. You want to be very careful to keep this not scratched, right? So there may or may not be some fogging going on. Like if it's dark, there's smoke everywhere. So the cleaner you can keep this, the better. And another reason I really like this Tough Products bag is it's got like all sorts of like soft goodness on the inside, where it's gonna like be nice and non-abrasive and keep that really nice. So yeah, be careful. Do not be dropping these on the ground. Like keep that clean so you can see out of it. But yeah, so my two recommended filters or masks, I'm sorry, are this MSA and then the Avon. The Avon was awesome. I really, really liked it. I wish they weren't so expensive. Let me see here. Okay, so one additional thing I do is when I have my bag staged, like in my loadout bag or wherever I have it in my vehicle, I have a separate one of these hooks. So, and I just leave it clipped onto the gas mask bag. So that way, maybe I don't have my gun belt, or maybe I'm deciding not to wear it, right? Like I want to be super sneaky, and then all of a sudden I want to add a gas mask bag. So if I've got this clip, I can just slide this onto an EDC belt. Technically, like this is really, really stiff, but I could probably even hook that over my EDC belt and get it on. So spare clippy deal. I think the cool thing is like these are everywhere. This is toughproducts.com. I see them on like Galls, like police website. These things are everywhere, so I think this is an advantage to this specific bag where it clips on with that system, versus like having to find extra like 2-inch webbing with the specific buckle your bag has. I think these are just a little bit easier. I don't know. But so there's a tip, like in case I don't have my bat belt, my pistol belt, I can just put this on a belt that I happen to have with me. So, let's see, what other questions do we have? Cat crap, anti-fog stuff on the lenses. I don't do that right now. Read the instruction manual that came with your mask, right? So it's very important that this stays like soft and supple and can get a seal, and we don't want it to degrade. So I would not be putting anything on this mask that is you haven't read the directions from the manufacturer and they've advocated for it. No love for the Soviet Warsaw elephant trunk masks. Maybe they were good in the 70s in the Soviet bloc. I don't know. The future is now. So let's see. If anybody has any other questions on masks, go ahead and post them up. I'm going to probably move on to a little bit different topic and then come back to masks at the end for anybody that missed it, like the how to use the mask thing. So here we go. So we're talking about riots and stuff, a big thing we're going to talk about is being trapped, right? So they shut down the road and they are doing whatever they're doing. They are having their roadblock. Maybe all they're doing is stopping traffic, right? Because they want to get attention to their cause, however you may feel about that. But your freedom of movement is limited, and I need to get out of here. I think that they might hurt me, or do something dastardly. So I think having some tools to do that is probably a good idea. And we can't just start shooting people. Maybe there comes a time for that, right? Like we can all remember the Kenosha kid, but probably we want to be able to allow ourselves some freedom of movement before the time comes to start shooting people. And at that point, that may very well be a non-survivable event. So anyhow, so I talked to Marcus about this a while back, but we drilled a technique we call officer citizen rescue. So there's somebody trapped, presumably in a vehicle, and we're gonna roll up here and grab this person and get out. And we put this into practice during the Summer of Love with the riots and found that it just didn't work, right? People just don't get out of your way. If you have a baton, they don't care. They're not scared. So it went very, very poorly. And we almost had, we did put more people at risk, and we almost had more people in trouble because of those bad tactics. So I'll call it creating space, right? So what are some ways we can create space? And what we ended up doing was the new SOP was to deploy a smoke and a flashbang. So I think this is something that applies to us. If we've got people surrounding the vehicle, we're trying to drive away because we don't want to be here anymore. And it's just bad. I think that is a good way to create enough space to start driving your vehicle away. So I'll talk about something that is cool, is this flash stick from, I think, IWI. I don't know. I thought it was from IWI. Oh yeah, it is. So basically this is like a flashbang. However, this is there's a striker on here. So I'm going to say this, however cool it is probably not your, I'm going to escape this bad situation flashbang. I just can't do this fast enough, reliably enough, right? Hold it out the window. That's a pro tip, by the way. So when you go to deploy a grenade from a vehicle, grenade goes out the window, right? Out the window, then the pin gets pulled, not the other way around, okay? Pins stay in the grenades if the grenades are inside the vehicle. The pins only come out if the grenade is already outside the vehicle, all right? So there's a pro tip for you. But I think these are cool. Probably these are going to fill a different role, right? It's not going to be that. So luckily we do have some options. This is some sort of a flash, airsoft flashbang, also from IWI, and it's a pin and spoon situation. So that is going to be closer to what you want. Now I have popped one of these off. It was not as loud as I wanted it to be, but so far as I know, it's the best that we have, unless somebody's got some sort of a gray market deal on actual flashbangs, which I don't believe are technically limited like, I don't think they're illegal. I think it's just companies don't sell them to citizens. So if you can find a real one, let me know, because your boy needs them. But anyway, so a smoke combined with a flashbang, in our experience, made enough space to at least start driving out of there, right? Getting a little bit of momentum and hopefully making a little bit of some space there. So I think that's going to be a really good thing. If you had this in your vehicle, that would be good. Probably you're going to need 2 people in that vehicle to do this, right? The driver probably is not doing this alone. Like, drivers kind of got to drive. So I think you probably at least need a passenger to go ahead and start deploying this stuff, especially like, how long is it going to take you to deploy these 2 things? What's the gap in between? Like, are you losing the initiative because of the time it's taking you to do all this? So I would say probably you're not going to do this alone. Like, now, if you're alone and that's what you got, you just got to send it. But anyway, one more thing on, and this doesn't have to be thrown real far, right? Probably, like, if the crowd is surrounding the vehicle, like, this could probably just get dropped out the window, or like thrown as far as like the hood of the car, something like that. It doesn't have to go far. Again, the point is to make some space in our immediate surroundings so that we can start getting to safety. Is it different from the Israeli IWI? I don't know. No idea. I don't know. I know they make some flashbang, some like airsoft flashbang and smokes that we can get. That's what I know. So, so another thing on hand cams is prepping pins. Okay, so if you go to rip this pin out, you're gonna find that you can't do it, or maybe you can and you break the thing. But when you get ready to throw this, you need to prep the pin. Okay, there's different styles. Some are like a cotter pin style, where it comes through and folds to the sides. So when you're getting ready to use that thing, go ahead and take those wings and fold those in, okay? And then there's also this style. There's probably some more styles. I think I've seen frags, like the blue bodies, they have a little bit different, maybe M18 smokes have it's like a catch that locks the pin in that you have to rotate out. But whatever grenade you have, if it has a pin, figure out how to prep that pin. Maybe that involves like training with the thing or just YouTubing it. I don't know. But so like these ones, you can see I've got a wire holding this pin in, right? So for me to use this, I need to twist, right? And take that safety off. It's called prepping the pin, okay? So notice I have not pulled the pin. This is not a live grenade. All I've done is prepped the pin, right? And then I can go ahead and hook that back on there, right? So prep that pin. So right there, like I twisted it the wrong way because I'm looking at it backwards in the phone. So like be aware of your equipment and how it works. Also, this is a good thing to, let me go ahead and focus on resetting this pin. It'd probably be a good thing to do. The safety, not the pin. It's good to be aware of that, because if you see one of these things, like maybe it would be a good idea to be able to make it safe, right? Or to make it dangerous if if that was the safest possible option. So be aware of that. As far as storage pouches, so these like Mil X big ones, they fit in the regular smoke pouches. These are pretty small, so they're gonna be a little loose in there. I have here a surplus double mag pouch, and it can fit in here it's still a little loose, but it goes all the way in, and then I can just use that Velcro to get all the way over there. So that holds that pretty well. Also, usually flashbangs are pretty small, so tourniquet pouches can work for flashbang grenades. So here's a Tough Product, not a Tough Products commercial, sorry, but Tough Products tourniquet pouch, and it's got some elastic on the sides, and this fits in here pretty snug, which is nice. And this has horizontal like Velcro straps or vertical molly, so it's kind of a cool deal. So like some ideas for flashbang storage, but yeah, anyway, if you have OC grenades, or honestly, if you have any large size pepper spray, you're going to want to go ahead and put that gas mask on before you use it. Trust me. Gas is one thing, pepper spray is a whole other thing, like especially when you're driving the car, like being able to see is pretty important. So if you've got pepper spray grenades, OC grenades, like the mask I would say is mandatory. Go ahead and put that thing on before you're going to get any of these out. What else? I know I was thinking about, pepper spray. So I talked about the cop side. For our side, like we can get big, like I'm not going to go get it because we're live, but a Mark 9, right? Like the fire extinguisher looking ones. So those are great. We can get those. They are awesome. They shoot really far. They have a bunch in it. And people don't want that. So it's got a pretty good, I've got a pretty good record of like pointing that at people and getting them to do what I asked them to do. So big fan of that stuff. That is also like not necessarily the easiest thing to carry. So, yep, look at some options. The cry pants that have the elastic retainer on the inside of the cargo pocket is pretty cool for things of that nature. But so those Mark 9s, at least the real Mark 9s, and as far as I know, like the regular like Saber Red ones, or even Bear Spray, which wouldn't necessarily not be my first pick. Like I'd like a Saber Red, or one that's like designed for people. But definitely, if I'm like I can't find a Mark 9, anything else other than the Bear Spray, like dude, yeah, great, the Bear Spray. The handle is plastic, but the cylinder is metal. Go ahead and hold that with two hands, because if you're holding that like all gangster with your one hand, especially if somebody tries to take that away from you, that can break, and that's really, really bad. You better have a mask on for that. Yep, make that a two-handed deal. And that's one of those things where, like, if you're going to deploy that from a vehicle, like window all the way down, also be advised, if you're spraying that out the front window, like that back window should probably be closed. So word to the wise on that. Don't gas out your buddies in the back seat. Bear spray in the car, yes, I like it. Good. Yeah. I had a beard question. Marcus, hopefully you're still watching. I know you had a question at one point. Ask it, please, because I don't remember what it is, and I don't have my DMs up because I'm using my phone to video. Beards. So, can you get a seal with a beard? The answer is sometimes. So, we luckily we're allowed to have facial hair. Like, it was very, very strict, and then they relaxed it. So, we actually do have some experience with this. Not me personally, because my beard is terrible. So I mostly am clean shaved. For a while I had a little goatee, but basically the safe bet is to shave, to make sure you get that good seal. That was definitely something that we all did. Like when we know we're gonna go recertify on this thing, like pretty much most of us are shaving because we don't want to risk exposure. Not because it, just because it sucks a lot. So, if you want to keep a beard, I would tell you to keep it very short and to keep Vaseline or petroleum jelly in your gas mask bag, right? Kind of like how I keep a razor. So if you slather a lot of that on, some people are able to get a seal sometimes. Unfortunately, not all the time. Now, depending on the thing, we had SWAT guys that just wanted to have beards, and they were like, I'm just gonna eat gas if I need to. And, it's a little different for them because they're the ones deploying it. They know when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and, theoretically they're not getting any, although they get a lot thrown back at them. And it's in a big open area in the street where it's escaping places. So, yeah, if you absolutely refuse to shave, consider trimming that beard short. Definitely keep a big thing of Vaseline or petroleum jelly. Slather that all over your face, and maybe you can get a seal. Now, the reason I say probably shave is we had a gas house where we could test that. Dudes could Vaseline up, get a seal, and go in the gas house and make sure that they had a good seal and that it was working. We don't really have that. So I'm going to say probably just shave. So there's the beard question. Asked all my questions. I have a new filter. I have a new filter on my mask. When I go to use it, that one's probably okay. Yes, correct. If I have time, it's better to open a new one. Electric trimmer in the truck. In the mask, in the truck, great. Vaseline, yes. And just go ahead and trim that down anyway. You ain't got a super long beard or anything. Lewis, alive versus able. I mean, yes. What are we talking about here, though? Are we talking about this stuff? Yeah. Let's see. Yep. Put a filter on your mask. Don't keep them in the packaging. It's like keeping a tourniquet in the packaging, kind of. So, put one on there, and then if you think it's necessary, go ahead and put a brand new one on. If you're getting ready to go do go time stuff. Again, personally, based on my experience and the experience of my instructors, I feel confident not doing that. Any questions about masks, chems, about grenade deployments, officer-citizen rescues, about staging, storing, yeah. Any other questions, ask them. I'm going to go over, again, for anybody that came in late, before we end this, I'm going to talk about using the gas mask. So I've got my drop leg gas mask pouch. I've got my gas mask. All of these top straps, these 4 top straps, are all tightened appropriately. I'm going to take them all and fold them forward, turning the mask inside out. It's going to look like that. This is the important part. This should look like a nice glove that will fit on your face. So it is going to go in your pouch this way. Yes, I'm doing that now. So I'm just going to show it all together because that's how we do. So that's how I've got that in the pouch. I've got it upside down, so when I pull it out, I can put it right on my face, right? And get that seal. I've got it staged. All the straps are out of my way. I can get that good seal. Without ever putting straps on, I can have a good seal. So I've got my helmet. This isn't going to be perfect because it's not my helmet. I don't have an extender, etc. But you know, picture how this would look is basically it. So gas, something's thrown, I'm seeing it, it's spewing stuff. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's pepper spray, CS, I don't know if it's smoke. All I know is like that probably is not what I want in my lungs. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop to a knee. I'm gonna put my gas mask knee down so that I'm pulling the mask up and out and it's not obstructed. So I'm gonna go ahead and probably prep, like unclip, get my hand on my mask. I can even start to draw it out. I can unclip my helmet. Go ahead and take your deep breath. I'm gonna be talking a little bit, but you would take your deep breath in here, like your last good breath of air before that nasty white smoke gets closer to me. So here's where I'm gonna purge, right? So I'm gonna hold this mask to my face. I'm gonna hold my hand over the filter. And I'm gonna blow as hard as I can, blowing any air out of the mask that's in there. The point of there is not to blow air out, it's to blow out any gas that got in here, right? Like if it's too late, the gas is all over here. I need to blow the gas out of the mask before I can start breathing. So, right, deep breath. Now I'm gonna seal, okay? So holding the mask to my face as tight as I can, I'm gonna hold my hand to this intake hole so it's not gonna get any air in there, and I'm gonna suck in, creating pressure, creating a vacuum, and sucking the mask to my face, right? Pause, no diddy. Here we go. All right, hopefully you can hear that. And you can understand what I'm talking about without actually being here and seeing it.
Straps back over the head. I'm gonna pull these bottom ones tight. So now it's holding it to my face, no problem. And helmet back on as soon as I can. So there we go. I would buckle this. You know, that's why I would have an extender. And I can get up and do whatever I'm gonna do. So again, to take this off, I wanna make sure that it's okay. Like, I'm gonna be looking around. I'm gonna be looking at other people. Hopefully we have guinea pigs that don't have masks. And I can see that like they're breathing okay, it's probably okay. So I'm gonna drop back to a knee, helmet off, set it down.
Go ahead and loosen these bottom ones up and then stage the mask properly again, right? Get this ready if I need to use it. That can go back in the pouch, and then the helmet is gonna go back on as soon as I can put it back on. And then if I need to do any additional securing of the gas mask pouch, I can go ahead and do that. So, get my clips. I'll go over another command. So we talked about emergency gas. For all clear, right? Let's say we want to tell our people that it's okay to take their masks off. Is whoever that leader is going to take their mask off, wave it over their head, all clear, all clear, all clear. So it's a pretty self-explanatory all clear sign. Yeah, so hopefully you get that. Make sure you get a good seal, get that tight. You're going to purge, you're going to create your suction to make sure that you have a good seal. Keep that helmet on your head for as long as you possibly can. Have it off for as short as you possibly can. Cool. I'll do a real video on this in addition to the live. I just want to get this info out because, people might be needing it. So anyhow, appreciate you guys. I'm going to go ahead and end this. I think I've talked this out. See you later, Will. Thanks for coming in. This is Reed with Rapid Response Training. It's getting weird out there, so be ready, and you don't be weird.